Hi. So this video was supposed to be the video in the style of Nando v Movies. I'd scripted it, recorded the audio for it, half edited it, but ultimately it wasn't working out. I wasn't happy with it, so I changed it and I did a different concept in the style of Nando v Movies. But I still thought that this this change, was worth bringing up. So, as the title suggests, today we're going to talk about the end of Avengers Endgame, the final scene, and basically about Captain America's time travel shenanigans in the end of that film. Because basically, it doesn't make any sense. Because in Avengers Endgame, the time travel is explained as it's not the same way that most time travel in movies and TV and stuff works. If you change something in the past and you go back to the present that you return to won't have changed because that past has already happened, and when you go to the past you create a new version of the past, like a branched timeline type of thing. Admittedly, the movie could explain it a little bit better, but basically, you can't go back to the past and do stuff in the past, and then but it won't all be in one timeline. It's lots of different timelines. Basically, the point is, at the end of Avengers Endgame, Captain America goes back in time and lives his life with Peggy. He marries her, presumably, and then he's ends up just sat on a bench as an old man. But it doesn't make sense, because if he went and lived with Peggy, who we know gets married in the main timeline to someone who is not Steve, then surely he would be in a different timeline, because that's how the movie says time travel works. And basically, I just thought it's a bit rubbish, innit? And I think there are a couple of little ways you could do it differently to clear up the confusion about the time travel. Because for the most part, the movie follows its own rules of the logic of time travel. So the fact that this confusion, the kind of mistake happened to happen, it's a bit annoying. And I just thought I'd bring it up because it wasn't working in the style of the video that I was doing, but I still thought it was a worthwhile change, at least. And, I want to get some other videos up with these in the style of videos to be, this is not just, I'm not just doing other people's videos. I've got my own style of videos, and this is one of my type of videos. Standing here rambling with no script, with a badly green screen background. It's probably, I've not actually tested out the green screen at all, to be honest. So this might look real shit, but anyway. So basically, the change that I proposed was instead of having Steve be on a bench talking to Sam, instead you have Steve, because in the actual movie I'm not sure that he definitely knows before he leaves that he's going to go and live his life out with Peggy. But there's definitely a sense of that, an idea of that, because that's why him and Bucky have the same goodbye that they have in the first Avenger, except reverse. So they definitely both kind of know that he's probably not going to come back. So let's just say that he does know, and he's kind of planned it out a bit beforehand, and he's written Sam a letter. So instead of what we get in the actual film, where you've got Steve talking to Sam about what he did after he returned the stones and stuff, it's voiceover. It's Chris Evans doing a voiceover of this letter that Sam is reading, and then also Bucky will sub in a couple other things as well. Basically, I just thought that you still have the same kind of impact, the same level of impact of him passing on the mantle, and you still have the scene of him dancing with Peggy at the end, but it is a bit irritating because the scene we get is beautiful. It is a beautiful scene, but it doesn't work with the rules of time travel, which sometimes it is okay, I think, to just kind of throw out the rules in favour of a good story. But for this, I can, it doesn't ruin the film for me, but it is a bit irritating, the fact that it doesn't really make any sense. And I think, like, you could say that, stop worrying about it, the writers and the directors and stuff have cleared it up since, but, like, to me that doesn't hold water because they have different opinions themselves. The writers think he stayed in our universe, and the directors think he stayed in a different universe but then came back to our universe, but neither of those really make sense because he can't have stayed in our universe because that's not how the time travel in the film works, and he can't have stayed in a different universe and come back to ours because the only place he could have come back to was the platform he left on, and he doesn't come back. That's the whole point. So basically, it, what am I saying? This bit can get cut. Also, the shield, because it's not going to be a shield from a different timeline that's not been chopped up by Thanos' Darth Maul sword, I think the shield should be repaired, but kind of a little bit more kind of technologically advanced, a little bit more segmented. I think in the comics they've changed the look of the shield a bit. I might be wrong on that, I don't know. But basically just redesign it ever so slightly, because in this version T'Challa's repaired it because he's got the vibranium and he's an ally of Captain America, so why would he not repair it? And it just looks a bit different to kind of signify that it's the same kind of spirit of the characters, but it's kind of new and a bit different, which I feel is what they're going to go with for Phase 4, especially with like the sequels and stuff. But that's all I've got to say on that, really. This is, a lot of these videos aren't scripted, which is, I always have no idea what I'm saying, but hey ho, that's the style. It's the house style we have here at Mastercast. So if you liked the change, tell me what you liked about it. We should have more of those in the style of videos coming up very soon. I know I did a Doctor Who one in the style of a not Doctor Who YouTuber, and in the next couple of days, I'm going to be putting up a non-Doctor Who one in the style of a mostly Doctor Who YouTuber, and then some other ones after that. I think I've got about 10 planned, but they might not all come to fruition, so don't quote me on, don't take that as gospel that you're getting 10. But there are at least 10 that I've got ideas and would like to do. But plans change all the time. I was halfway through making this as the End of Endgame movie style one, and I don't want to say gave up, but I gave up. But that's all I've got. So like and comment and subscribe and stuff, because that's what YouTubers tell you to do. Please subscribe. Now go away.